Chapter 20. At last. Okay, so Farid had warned me. He had, but as it turned out, he had wasted his breath. We were driving down the crowded road that winds from Jalalabad to Kabul. The last time I had traveled that route was in a tarpaulin covered truck going the other way. Baba had nearly gotten himself shot by a singing, stoned Rusi officer. Baba had made me so mad that night, so scared, and ultimately so proud. The trek between Kabul and Jalalabad, a bone-jarring ride down a teetering pass snaking through the rocks, had become a relic now, a relic of two wars. 20 years later, I had seen some of the first war with my own eyes. Grim reminders of it were strewn along the road. Burned carcasses of old Soviet tanks, overturned military trucks gone to rust, a crushed Russian jeep that had plunked over the mountainside. The second war, I had watched it on my TV screen, and now I was seeing it through Farid's eyes. Swerving effortlessly around potholes in the middle of the broken road, Farid was a man in his element. He had become much shattered since our overnight stay at Wahid's house. He had me sit in the passenger seat and looked at me when he spoke. He even smiled once or twice. Maneuvering the steering wheel with his mangled hand, he pointed to mud-hut villages along the way where he had known people years before. Most of those people, he said, were either dead or in a refugee camp in Pakistan. And sometimes the dead are luckier, he said. He pointed to the crumpled, shattered remains of a tiny village. It was just a tuft of blackened, roofless walls now. I saw a dog sleeping along one of the walls. I had a friend there once, Farid said. He was a very good bicycle repairman. He played the tabla well too. The Taliban killed him and his family and burned the village. We drove past the burned village and the dog didn't move. In the old days, the drive from Jalalabad to Kabul took 2 hours, maybe a little more. It took Farid and me over 4 hours to reach Kabul. And when we did, Farid warned me just after we passed the Mahipar Dam. Kabul is not the way you remember it, he said. So I heard. Farid gave me a look that said hearing is not the same as seeing, and he was right, because when Kabul finally did unroll before us, I was certain, absolutely certain, that I had taken a wrong turn somewhere. Farid must have seen my stop-fired expression, shuttling people back and forth to Kabul. He would have become familiar with that expression on the faces of those who hadn't seen Kabul for a long time. He patted me on the shoulder. Welcome back, he said morosely. Rubble and beggars everywhere. I looked. That was what I saw. I remember beggars in the old days too. Baba always carried an extra handful of Afghani bills in his pocket just for them. I had never seen him deny a peddler. Now, though, they scattered at every street corner, dressed in shredded burlap rags, mud-caked hands held out for a coin, and the beggars were mostly children now, thin and green-faced, some no older than 5 or 6. They sat in the lamps of their burqa-clad mothers, alongside gutters at busy street corners and chanted bakshesh, and something else. Something I hadn't forgot right away. Hardly any of them sat with an adult male. The wars had made fathers a rare commodity in Afghanistan. We were driving westbound, toward the Carter district of what I remember as a major thoroughfare in the 70s. Jade Mayawand. Just north of us was the bone-dry Kabul River. On the hills of the south stood the broken old city wall. Just east of it was the Bala Hisar fort. the ancient citadel that the warlord Dostum had occupied in 1992, on the Shirdawasa mountain range, the same mountains from which Mujahideen forces had showered Kabul with rockets between 1992 and 1996, inflicting much of the damage I was witnessing now. The Shirdawasa range stretched all the way west. It was from those mountains that I remember the fighting of the Topek Chash, the Nunkanun. It went off every day to announce noontime, and also to signal the end of the daylight lasting during the month of Ramadan. You had heard the roar of the cannon out through the city in those days.